So melasma is when you get pigmentation, usually on your face, and you get it as you get older. And it tends to be quite genetic, but there are other factors that influence the development of melasma, and they include things like hormones and sun exposure. So there are a few different causes of melasma. One of the most important causes is genetics. So if your mum and dad, uncles and aunts, brothers and sisters have had pigmentation as they get older, you'd be more likely to get it. It's also more common in ethnicities where they have darker skin types. Hormones also have a big role to play in the development of melasma. So women can get it during pregnancy, during IVF treatment, when they're taking the oral contraceptive pill, and also later on in life if they're on HRT for menopause. And finally, sun exposure is very important, has a very important role to play in melasma development. So people often find that their melasma is worse after they've been on a sunny holiday. And so that's why sun protection is so important if you suffer from melasma. So anyone can get melasma, men and women, and it's very genetic. So if you have a darker skin type, like me or darker, and you've got people in your family who have got pigmentation as they've got older, and if you haven't been careful in the sun or need to be on hormone treatments for other reasons, then you'd be more likely to get melasma. So any skin type can be affected by melasma, but it is more common in darker skin types. That's not to say it can't affect people with very fair skin types as well. Yes, so melasma can be very genetic, but if you know that and have a good skincare regime and avoid triggers from a younger age, you really can avoid developing bad melasma that you may see in the older generations in your family. So that's why it's worth seeking expert advice when it's very mild and when it starts coming up at an earlier age. Yeah, so melasma can be prevented. So for instance, my aunts have got very bad melasma, and so has my mother. So I've always been aware of this, and I have treated my skin preventatively with things that I know that are good for pigmentation. So I think the thing is about being aware of what kind of skin conditions that we might be prone to developing later on in life, and then using preventative measures to make sure that they never become a problem. So things like using sun protection, and then active ingredients in skincare such as tranexamic acid, niacinamide, kojic acid, ingredients like that can be very helpful. And then also taking care, particularly for women, not to be on unnecessary hormonal treatments like being on the pill, or sometimes it can't be helped if you need IVF or if you need HRT for medical reasons, but you should always be aware that these things can bring out melasma if you've noted it in the older generations in your family.